Assalamualaikum guys, Irfan back again with another video, and today we are going to be looking at two functions of Excel, the minimum and the maximum, and we will be using these two functions to calculate what the revenue was of the very first sale our company made, and what was the cost of goods sold in that very first sale, and the revenue of the latest sale that we made, and the cost of goods sold in the latest sale. We'll be using the minimum and maximum functions together with the Sumifs function that we had talked about in an earlier video. So let's get started. This is the data table from the pivot table and dashboard video that we did some time back. This column, the column C, has the order date, so that's basically the date on which the sale was made. The green column is the revenue that you earned, and this sort of a pink color is the cost of goods sold. Now let's first see when did we make our first sale and when did we make our last sale. So let me just scoot over here. Okay, now in order to find out when the first sale was made and when the last sale was made, we will be looking at we will be using the minimum and the maximum function. The minimum function, as the name suggests, returns the lowest value. The max function returns the highest value. Now when you apply those on a date column, the minimum gives you the earliest date and the maximum function gives you the latest date. So let's see when was the first sale made. So let's use going to minimum, and I'm going to highlight this the whole column of the order date because I want to capture all the dates. And now what this will do is this minimum function will tell me what was the earliest order date. So the earliest order date was on the 1st of February 2013. Okay. Now let's look at when the last sale was made. So we're going to use the max function, and once again I'm going to select the whole column, close parentheses, and is equal, enter. So the last sale was made on the 17th of February 2016. Now what I am interested in is finding out the revenue and the cost of goods sold for the first sale, and the revenue and the cost of goods sold for the last sale. So like I said, we'll be using the Sumif formula. The reason why I'm going to be using a Sumif is not a VLOOKUP is because you could have multiple sales on the same date. If you could use VLOOKUP to look at the find the first date and the last date, but then what will happen is if you have multiple sales on that same date, it will miss that. So what you need to do is you need to use the Sumif formula. So if there are multiple sales happening on a particular date, you still capture that. So I'm going to use Sumif. Now this the first thing that we have to specify is the sum range. So the sum range is the revenue because we are looking at the total revenue of the very first sale, the earliest sale. Okay. Now the criteria range will be the order date. And what is the criteria? Criteria is minimum order date. That means sum all the revenue column, and the criteria is the order date is the minimum order date. So the first sale that happened on the 1st of February was worth 337,107. So let's see if that actually makes sense or not. So I'm going to put a filter here and on the order date, and let's see if that actually is correct or not. Now the first thing is, like I had said, the first day, if the minimum function had told us the first order date was the 1st of February 2013, and the revenue is 337,107. So now if I remove the filter, so 1st February is 2013 is the first sale, 337,107 is the revenue for the first sale. Similarly, we will use the Sumifs formula to look at the cost of goods sold on the very first sale. So this time will be the sum range would be the cost of goods sold column. The criteria range would be the order date, and that needs to be the the minimum order date. That means the first order date. So this was the revenue for the first sale, and this was the cost of goods sold for the first sale. Now let's do the same thing with the last sale. So we'll be using Sumif. The first, what we're doing, we are adding up the sum range would be revenue. The criteria range would be order date, and the criteria is max of the order date. So essentially what we're doing is we are adding up the revenue, we're looking at the order date, and the order date needs to be the latest date. So the latest sale revenue was 990,282, which is this guy over here. Now if you want to look at the cost of goods sold in the latest sale, we again do Sumifs. This time the sum range would be the cost of good column. The criteria is going to be the order date, and the order date needs to be the latest date. So 17th February was the latest sale date. The revenue was 990,282. Cost of goods 761, 755. So that's how you would use the minimum and maximum function to find out the latest date, the earliest date, and then you can couple that with functions like SUMIF and COUNTIF and get the revenue for the first sale, for example, or the cost of goods for the first sale, or revenue for the last sale, or you can even do COUNTIF in for the first and last sale if you have multiple sales happening on the same date. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like to see more videos like this, please subscribe.